And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. Today, we're continuing with the latest movie marathon and doing Scary Movie 2, released in 2001. And if you saw my review of the first Scary Movie, you knew this one was coming because it was, again, our last marathon. Basically, scary movies, it's a very weird way to pronounce it, but they're parodies of more mainstream horror movies. The first movie was about Scream. This one, I guess, was Poltergeist. Maybe a little bit The Shining, but I think mostly Poltergeist or like The Conjuring, I think, was part of it too. I couldn't really tell. It wasn't as obvious in this one. So, but anyways, I got a lot of thoughts on this movie. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? So, the opening of this movie is just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. They pick up a trend in the second movie all the way throughout where the openings of the movies have almost or absolutely zero relation to the movie at all. The plot doesn't even stick. You don't even see any of the same characters for the most part. And it's honestly just kind of forgettable. I don't know. It's mostly kind of set up like a hook to the movie, which is weird. I don't know. Especially in 2001 when like you'll be in the theater. You've already paid for a ticket. Why do they need to do more hook? People left to get a refund if they didn't like it in the first 15 minutes? I don't know. Also, there is a lot of dick. There is so much dick in this movie. You thought there was a lot of dick in the last movie? Brace yourselves. There's a lot of dick in this movie. Also, that parrot is absolutely crazy. Second best parrot in a movie, right behind the parrot from, I guess not even a parrot, just like a bird, talking bird. Second best talking bird behind the bird in Home Alone 3. I still think that's my favorite. This guy provided some good comic relief in what's supposed to be a comedy. So, there's that. Here is the biggest travesty of this entire film. Okay? And because I think they reviewed how Scary Movie 1 was portrayed, and like they were thinking, okay, we can do more of these. How are we going to make them better? How are they going to make them more memorable? And they thought, oh, here's a great idea. Let's just put in A-list actors and do nothing else to better strengthen the movie. That'll make it work. So you get, in this movie, we get a absolutely insane and awesome team up that I never thought would exist of Tim Curry and David Cross. This is early David Cross, 2001 David Cross. This is a pretty late Tim Curry appearance though, but he's still very much in his prime here, and they are awesome. And it really, but here's the biggest travesty: they are criminally either misutilized or underutilized. Tim Curry is way underutilized in this movie. He just like doesn't show up in the last like third to a half of the movie. He just disappears. Like when the poltergeist is doing his thing and like haunting all of these people, the first victim is Tim Curry. But while the other guys all come back in the end of the movie, Tim Curry's just nowhere to be found. I'm like, where the fuck, man? Where is Tim Curry? I want to see more Tim Curry. David Cross is in the movie more. He's more of a main character, and he does a lot more stuff, and he's really good in what he does, but he just doesn't fit this role. And no, it's not because he's not handicapped. I'm not being disabled phobic or anything like that. You know, I think he does a fine job for what he's given. I think it's just a writing perspective that makes it a problem here, because you know, he's just, it's not the role for him, you know. It doesn't seem like he's very comfortable in the role for the most part. He's still giving it his 100% effort, but there's definitely a clear boundary of fog for him where he doesn't know exactly like he's kind of pondering his orb, pondering his decisions, and again, it's noticeable. I still really like seeing him in this movie, but it was kind of sad how they were utilized. It's really sad. Tim Curry and David Cross are two of my all-time favorite actors, and that the fact that they teamed up in this movie and it still sucked is an absolute travesty. Absolute travesty. Because they just make them do some of the weirdest shit too. Like, this is not, especially Tim Curry, this is not a good movie for him, because this is not the role that he is built to play, or was built to play. He was built to play a very mysterious, sometimes comic relief character, but mostly a mysterious, controlled, fancy type character, and but like controlled, but also, crazy at the same time, kind of a mysterious craziness guy. And David Cross was, meant to just, be David Cross, and neither of them are really able to do that a whole lot in this movie. And then we get this weird ass basketball scene, which also this becomes a trend where there's just random scenes, and not just in the intros, that make no sense at all. There's this part where the basketball comes in to this darkly lit room, and then there's just a montage of all of them doing basketball moves, but then they just continue on their journey like it never happened when it's done. I'm like, what was the point of putting that in the film? You could have used that as like I feel like that was like a promo material, or like some bonus content that they put in, like a promo for like a NBA game, or even like for the movie itself, and then they just didn't, like, it was denied, or they just wanted to like preserve it somehow, so they stuck it in the middle of the film for no reason at all. Again, there's no significance for this whatsoever. It's a cool scene, I guess. I mean, it's cool seeing the characters just do funny basketball moves, I guess, but it just felt like padding at the end of the day. There were some scenes that I did like in this movie, mainly the evil plant scene. I thought that was really good. It was one of the few scenes in this franchise that really captured the horror aspect. Watching the plant grow and morph and take sentience, and like wrap the weed guy in a thing into like a joint, and then light his head on fire. That was pretty cool. It wasn't like super scary, but it was definitely like horrific in a way. And it definitely kind of captured the horror essence of the film for once. And so I thought that was good. There's also more racism. There's a lot more racism. Not as much as the first movie, but there is some. What can you do? Also, they miss there's like a plot point here where like Anna Faris just doesn't, her name's Anna Faris. Did I call her Amy Faris in the last review? I think I did. Is her name Anna Faris? I'm going to call her Anna Faris because I wrote down Anna Faris. So I think it's Anna Faris. It's Amy Faris or Anna Faris. Correct me in the comments section down below. But there's a huge plot point where like they all have this technology to try and find the ghosts to be able to like take him out, and they have to wear goggles so they can see him. But Anna Faris just never has the goggles, and it's never explained why, because she's given a pair of goggles when they get their gear, and it's never explained how she lost it, where she put it. Just disappears so that the plot can have some points to talk about, I guess. Okay. Sure. Moving on. Also, the sex scenes are just too much, people. I mean, it gives off Evil Bong vibes. It really does. And it's just traumatic flashback after traumatic flashback. I mean, did we really need to have another scene of a guy blowing his wad to Anna Faris so much that it's literally a geyser? Do we have to have that twice? I don't think we needed that. I think once, okay. You do it again, though? Why? Another scene that I really liked was the wheelchair scene, the racing wheelchair scene with David Cross and the Ghost. That's where I think David Cross really got to shine the most in this movie. You know, he's not really known as a big action star, but this was a really funny scene for me. And then they have the little fucking Firestone product placement at the end. I'm like, okay, cool. Another really well done joke, in my opinion, was the telephone like cup string thing. Um, there was really, actually, I think one of the funnier parts of this whole series was when like Anna Faris is talking to the quote unquote gay guy. He's not actually a gay guy, but you know, he's the one that does all the gay jokes, basically. She's talking to him, and they're on different sides of a wall, and they're like talking like they're walkie talkies, and she's like, "What's your location?" So he's like, "I'm right behind you." It's like, good. No acknowledgement that about like the cop thing at all, which I thought was really funny. Really, really well done joke there. I don't know if they intended it to land like that, but really well done in my opinion. And then out of nowhere, Beetlejuice just appears. Sure. I guess. Cool. Thank you, Beetlejuice, for making an appearance. So, anyways, with this movie, it's better than the first movie. The only reason it's better is because it has David Cross and Tim Curry in it. But I can't rate it too much higher because they butchered their appearances in this movie. So, that sucks. That really sucks. Because you have those two actors in this movie. Gotta do better than that. You gotta do better than that. For my final score for Scary Movie 2, I'll give it a 4.5. I can't go any higher than that. So, I can't go any higher than that. Again, if you like stupid horror movies, this is a good one for you. So, that's going to do it for this video, though. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, if you've seen this movie as well, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. What do you think of Tim Curry and David Cross's performances, as well as the other performances? Until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.